Hallelujah. So we have a choice this day. Joshua had to make a choice and he said, "As for me and my house, I shall serve the Lord." David had to make a choice and he made his choice more especially when the prophet Nathan approached him and told him what God had said upon his life, that he had sinned against God. And David made a choice and said, "I shall seek for forgiveness from my father, for I have sinned against my God." And King Saul too had to make a choice. This was more so after the prophet Samuel approached him and told him he had sinned. And Saul turned to prophet Samuel and said, "I have sinned against you, and I seek your forgiveness." So we all have a choice to make. Jesus had a choice to make at the Garden of Gethsemane, and this was when he was praying, and he realized that the hour had come for him to be to go through the persecution and the crucifixion, and he said, "Lord, it's a bitter cup, but not my will, but your will be done." So we see people in the Bible faced by choices, and that does not leave us in any way different from them. I too have a choice to make. I could choose to not make these videos anyway. No one's coercing me to do it. I could choose to just go to bed and sleep. I could choose to do anything else apart from this. But my emphasis here is we have a choice. You have a choice to make every single day. And as I make this video, it's during the time of coronavirus, COVID-19. And people have been, there are certain choices that have been taken away from us. And in some situations, we have been forced to live in a certain manner. But we have a choice. We can either choose to follow the guidelines that are outlined unto us, or we can choose to follow the guidelines. But no one's holding a gun to our heads and saying you must do this. In some cases I have seen that happening, but we have not gotten there yet. So every day we are faced by choices, decisions that have to be made. You have a choice to worship God or not. You choose what you want to do. And why am I talking about choices? Is because it's not the choices that we make that we have to live with, but the consequences of the choices, of the decisions. It's the outcome that we have to live with after the choice that we make. So right now, if I made the conscious decision not to do this anymore, yeah, I would probably avoid all the hate and all the criticism and all the exposure that I'm putting out there of my own life. I'll probably avoid that. What's the other consequence? I look at it on the other side. I'll probably not have the peace of mind because The reason I do this is I want to put God out there that people may hear his word. And at the same time, when I started doing online videos, that was like in 2 years ago. I always kept talking about impact, and then I made a choice in between those 2 years after a while to stay away because I couldn't take, like the exposure, the criticism. At some point, that was too much for me. But the consequences were every day I was thinking, how am I contributing to God's word? What is my impact at this point? So the consequences are what that I could not live with. And that's why I'm doing this again. That's why I'm out here telling people that there is God in heaven. That's why I'm telling people, we can change our lives. We can have God. We can be honest with ourselves. That's why I'm doing this, because I could not live with the consequences of not doing it. Like every day dealing with myself, thinking, really. So we have choices we have to make. But the choices are not, they're not the thing to focus on, but the consequences from the choices we make are what actually are the huge influence. Because the consequences are gonna be there after the choice. You can choose out of the choices that you have to do nothing and make a different path. If you have two choices, you can add your third option and do nothing about it. Ignore the situation. But the consequences of what you decide to do, the consequences of your decision, that is what you have to live with every single day. Food for thought. Definitely something to think about.